Good morning, children. Saira. Welcome back to our English class. And today we'll be doing active English. So, what you will do now? Yes, you will quickly get your books, active English book. Okay? So, be ready with your book. If you don't have if you're not ready, please pause the video and go and get the book, pencil, and an eraser. Okay, now in the last active English class, we did chapter 18, right? We did chapter 18. So after chapter 18, chapter 19, chapter 20. Chapter 19 and chapter 20 is omitted. So directly we will learn chapter 21 now. So open the page, take the page of chapter 21, page number 4646. So this is your chapter 21. And so now what you will do is, with your beautiful handwriting, you are going to write the answer. No, first you will write the date. So what is the date? So it is, yes, 23-12- and 2020. So write the date. Don't write like my handwriting. You write in a beautiful handwriting, small handwriting. Don't write big. Okay, because I'm writing with my finger, so it is showing you big handwriting. Okay, so you write in a good handwriting. So this is your chapter 21. So hope you all written the date now. Let's proceed to the chapter. So here chapter 21 is, you are going to answer the questions. So I hope in the previous classes you must have learned and you remember what is countable noun and the uncountable noun. Noun means the naming words are called nouns. What are countable nouns? The things which we can count, like cups, pencils, books. They are countable nouns. We can count, right? And the things which we cannot count, like water, coffee, tea, rice, sugar, hair. So all these are uncountable nouns. So remember this. So this is what we are going to use in this chapter. So the chapter is answer the questions, and the picture is given. And the pictures are given. So related to the picture, the questions will be asked. Related to the picture, the questions will be asked. So this is the picture. Okay. And the first question is, the question starts with R. The question starts with R. So your answer also should be in R. So are there any cups on the table? Asked Prince. Are there any cups on the table? Asked Prince. Okay. So you can see the cups. Yes, we can see the cups. So how many cups? 1, 2, 3. So you're not going to count and write. Yes, there are some cups on the table. Yes, there are. So it is plural form. It is countable noun. Okay, yes, there are some cups on the table, said Maya. So whoever is saying the last, said Maya, said Anu, said Prem, all these are already given in your book. So you just have to write, yes, there are some cups on the table. There are some cups on the table. Okay. So shall I ask you some other question? So are there any pencils on the table? Yes, there are some pencils on the table. Are there any apples on the table? Yes, there are some apples on the table. So imagine that whatever I'm saying. Okay. So now we'll proceed to the next question. It is so simple. You just have to see the picture, look at the picture and write the answer. And our second question is the same question. Are there any cups on the table? Asked Anu. So here, are there any cups here? So are there any cups here? No. So we can't see any cups. So what you will say? No. So if the question starts with are, you have to write aren't. Yes, there are, or no, there aren't. So every time, so whenever the negative answer, whenever the no answer you are giving, you have to write no, there aren't. The aren't is the short form contraction of are not. So no, no, there aren't. If the question starts with is there any cup on the table? No, there isn't. Okay. So if it is are, you will write are. If it is, you will write is. Okay. So here the question is, are there any cups on the table? So you write no, there aren't any cups on the table. Okay. So if I ask, is there any cups on the table? Is there any cup on the table? So you will write no, there isn't. Okay, so your answer is no, there aren't any cups on the table, said Mohan. Now let's move on to the third question. And now we are going to write the answer. Okay, fine. So are there any children in the car? Asked Jack. Are there any children in the car? Asked Jack. So can you see children? Yes, there are. So are is there. So what you will write? Yes, there are some children. S-O-M-E. So there are some children in the car. So whatever is there, said Anu. That is already given. So you will write there are some children in the car. Now we'll move on to the next question. Question number 4. Are there any children in the car now? Asked Radha. So are there any children? No. No one are there. So what you will write? No. So here are is there. No. There. T-H-E-R-E. No. There aren't. A-R-E-N apostrophe T. No, there aren't. So any children in the car. So I don't have space, I'm writing down. So you can write in a small handwriting. So no, there aren't any children in the car, said Anu. Okay, it is so simple. No, there aren't. You can fix all these words in that given line in your book. Okay, so you're not going to write in 2 lines. So no, there aren't any children in the car. Now let's move on to the next question. Now you can see here is. So earlier our questions was starting with are, A-R-E, are. Now it is with is. So is is used for uncountable nouns here. So is there any water in the glass? So water, can you count? No. So is there any water in the glass? Asked Maya. Yes, we can see some water here, right? We can see some water here. So what you write? If the question is, you will also write yes. There, there, there is. Yes, there is some water in the glass, said Prem. Yes, there is some water in the glass, said Prem. Now we'll move on to the next one, number 6. Yes, is there any paper on the desk? So you can see the picture, desk is there, some papers are there. Asked Jack. So what do you write? Yes, there is. So will you write there is? So it is given wrong here. So cut this. So paper you can count, right? So here also write. So here write A-R-E-R. So your answer will be yes, there are some papers on the desk. P-A-P-E-R-S, papers on the desk. So yes, there are some papers on the desk. Now we'll move on to the next question. Is there any rice in the bowl? Is there any rice in the bowl? So rice, can you count? No. So our answer is no, there isn't any rice in the bowl. No, there isn't any rice in the bowl, said Mohan. Now we'll move on to the next one. Are there any apples in the bowl? Asked Jack. Yes, you can see the apples. So yes, there are some apples in the bowl. Yes, there are some apples in the bowl. Now we'll move on to the next page now. So our next page also, now we are going to write, okay. Answer the questions in the same way as the first two have been answered. So the answers are given for the first two questions, okay. Now here you can see the question starts with are. So are there any books in the cupboard? Now see the picture. You are going to combine both the answer, what you learned in the previous pages. So you are going to write both, okay. Yes also and no also. That is how you will write. So are there any books in the cupboard? Now see the picture. So cupboard. So is there any book? No, nothing is there. So can you see on the desk? Yes, there are some books. So what is your answer? There aren't any books in the cupboard. So first they are asking in the cupboard. So you will write there aren't any books in the cupboard, but since these two pictures have given together, what you will write? There aren't any books in the cupboard, but there are some books on the desk. But there are some books on the desk. So are there any cups in the cupboard? So what you will write? There aren't any cups in the cupboard, but there are some cups on the desk. Okay. So let's see the second question. So this is uncountable noun now. So is there any rice on the plate? So here they are asking plate first, but in the bowl there is some rice. So is there any rice on the plate? So first you will write the answer for the plate. So is there any rice? Can you see? Nothing is there. So what do you write? There aren't any rice on the plate. So there aren't any rice on the plate, but there is some rice in the bowl. But there is some rice in the bowl. So we are going to write both the answers using beauty but. So do not forget to write the word beauty but. Now let's practice this. Okay. Are there any rulers on the, okay. So number 3 question is, are there any rulers on the table? Now look at the picture carefully. They have asked for the ruler on the table. So are there any rulers on the table? There aren't any rulers on the table. Nothing is there. So is there anything? Nothing is there. So what you will write? There aren't any rulers on the table, but what is there on the chair? There are, what can you see here? Some books, but there are some books on the chair. So what you will write the answer? So you will write there aren't any rulers on the table. So there aren't any rulers on the table. And what you will write? But. So do not forget to write this word but. There are, but there are some, but there are some books on the chair. But there are some books on the chair. CHAIR, chair, full stop. Got it? So there aren't any books, any rulers on the table, but there are some books on the chair. Okay, we'll move on to the next question. Is there any water in the bottle? So is there any water in the bottle? Nothing is there. So there is some water in the glass. So what is your answer? First you will answer for bottle. So there, and remember this, if it is, your answer will be isn't. Okay. So there isn't any water in the bottle. So there isn't any water in the bottle, but there is some water in the glass. But there is some water in the glass. So look at the question, whether they have given is or ARER. So we'll write one answer for this. So is there any water in the bottle? So what you will write? There isn't any water in the bottle, but but there is some water in the glass. But there is some water in the glass. Okay, there isn't any water in the bottle, but there is some water in the glass. Okay, now we'll move on to the next. Is there any bread on the floor? So floor means, so is there anything? Nothing is there. So you will answer for the floor first, and it is this. So there isn't. So if there isn't any, what they are asking? They are asking for the bread. There isn't any bread on the floor, but. So can you count the bread? We cannot count the bread, but we can count the slices of bread. But here they have asked bread. So is there any bread on the floor? There isn't any bread on the floor, but there is some bread on the table. But there is some bread on the table. Okay. Now, next question. Are there any oranges under the chair? So, under the chair, anything is there? Nothing. So, here R is given. So, you are going to answer for the chair. So, are there any oranges under the chair? There aren't any oranges under the chair, but there are some oranges on the chair. But there are some oranges on the chair. Okay, next question. Okay, is there any writing on the wall? So, is there any writing on the wall? So, this is the wall. Is there any writing on the wall? And this is the blackboard. This is the blackboard. Okay. So, is there any writing on the wall? There isn't any writing on the wall, but there is some writing on the blackboard. So, you can see some writing here. But there is some writing on the blackboard. So, it's so simple, you can write the answers on your own. So, here the questions again starts with R. So, ground. Okay. So, are there any aeroplanes on the ground? So, this is flying. You can see them in the clouds. But on the ground, anything is there? Nothing. So, are there any aeroplanes on the ground? There isn't or aren't. What do you will write? Yes, R is there, so you will write aren't. There aren't any aeroplanes on the ground, but there are some aeroplanes in the sky. But there are some aeroplanes in the sky. So, write the answer, and I'll show you the answers of chapter 21. So, you can click these answers, and afterwards you check with your answers. And when meeting is there, when interactive session is there, we will discuss the answers. So complete your book, children. I will ask the books roll number wise, so everybody should be ready with your books. active English book completed. Okay, so we have discussed the answer. You can write the answers on your own. So you can pause the video and you can check your answers. Okay, so it is so simple. Okay, this is the end of this chapter, and so in the next video we will learn the next chapter, number 22. So I want you all to complete chapter number 13, 16 and 18. Chapter number 13, 16 and 18, and this chapter number 21 also. When interactive session is there, I'll be asking for the books. We'll be asking some questions also. Okay, so complete your book and keep it ready. Bye bye, children.